I'm the Deputy Chief Executive of the RSPCA. I'm delighted to see so many of you here today. It's a fantastic turnout. Thanks very much for coming. Round of applause for ourselves. I did want to just send you a message from Gavin Grant, who some of you will know, the Chief Executive of the RSPCA. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. That's why you've got me in his place. But he does send his best wishes, and I'm sure he'll be down to join us again before too long. So, as Gavin would have said, and I'm pleased to say in his place, the RSPCA is very proud to be part of this demonstration and very proud to be part of this campaign to end live exports. We stand shoulder to shoulder with all of you who are trying to stop this grim, this vile trade, and we will continue to do that until the trade is ended once and for all. Now, this is an important weekend for Dover. It's one of the busiest weekends of the year, possibly the busiest weekend for travellers, for holiday makers passing through the port. Now, a lot of those are families off to the sun to have a good time, and we wish them well. But unfortunately, there are other creatures that are travelling from this port who are not having such a good time. They're travelling in horrendous conditions. They're travelling for many hours and for many miles. And as you know, hundreds of thousands of animals are shipped from this country every year. Calves and sheep, often as young as 2 years old. And they're certainly not off for a good time in the sun. And we know that this isn't, 2 months, thank you. And we know this isn't new. You know, a lot of us were over at Ramsgate, protesting at Ramsgate as well, and we all remember the horrendous things that happened there. There was a difference about Ramsgate though, one thing at least, is that RSPCA inspectors were allowed into the port of Ramsgate to see what was going on, to check for the welfare of the animals. And as many of you know, that story wasn't a good one. We issued many warning notices. There were many problems with water, with ventilation in the trucks. There were injuries to animals. There was an animal with a broken horn, a sheep with a broken horn. The wrong animals were being put together. There were all kinds of things that were simply horrendous. And at the very least, we were able to draw attention to what was going on. But of course, as many of you know, the conditions at Ramsgate were appalling. There were no facilities in the case of an emergency. And I'm sure some of you were even around on the day when the horrendous slaughter happened, when the sheep had to be unloaded from the truck, and we lost 40 of our fellow creatures. It was a sad, sad day, but it was a day that galvanised all of us to continue this campaign to the very end. Now, there's a different story in one sense here at Dover, because in their wisdom, the Dover Harbour Board have not allowed RSPCA inspectors onto the port. Now, why do you think that might be?
Shame.
I think they might think they've got something to hide. They know what happened at Ramsgate. We know what happened at Ramsgate. We know the nature of this trade, and they don't want us there to see what's going on. Now, thanks to the efforts of some of the members of Dover Council, we're delighted to say that a resolution has been passed to scrutinise this more closely, see whether there is something that can be done to allow us back into the port, and we look forward to that, because what's happening at the moment is extremely cursory inspections from Animal Health, nothing that could possibly give us any indication as to anything that's going on in those lorries. And it's simply not good enough. And the so-called progress of moving towards supervised loading, well, you and I both know that tells us nothing. All it tells us is that people are having a cursory glance at some sheep or some cars loading onto a truck. It doesn't say anything about the nature of the truck, the conditions in the truck, what happens to them on the journey, or what state they're in when they arrive at the port. It simply is not good enough, and we are going to continue to put pressure on Dover Council and through Dover Council onto Dover Harbour Board until RSPCA inspectors are allowed back into the port. And if you'll just indulge me for a second, I'd like to pay tribute to the RSPCA inspectors who are represented here today by Kevin Degenhart, who is our Chief Inspectorate Officer. These are people who 24 hours a day, come rain, come shine, all through the year, are out there putting themselves in harm's way for the good of the animals. And they do such a tremendous job. I really want to pay tribute to them today. Now, of course, this isn't just an issue that affects England or Wales or Scotland or Northern Ireland. It affects the whole of Europe. And you may know that the RSPCA, with other colleague organisations here in the UK, are members of Eurogroup. And Eurogroup have been running a campaign for some time, on making sure that the maximum travel time across Europe for cattle and sheep is 8 hours. And you'll be interested to know that there are 1 billion people across Europe that agree with that. So let's make sure that all of those voices are heard. We're here on behalf of all of those people, and most of all, we're here on behalf of all of those animals. We will stand for animals because they have no voice and they have no choice. We don't want this trade. The people of Dover don't want this trade. The ferry companies don't want this trade. So let's stand up and speak out. Sign the number 10 petition. Email the Dover Harbour Board. Don't let them off the hook. And let's end this vile trade once and for all. Thank you very much.